We have officially made it to Japan. We are in Osaka.
And this is our first time here. We're starting from Osaka, heading to Kyoto, going to the Mount Fuji area, and also heading to the capital of Tokyo, Japan.
Let's check it out.
We're Helen and Tim, full-time travelers, and in January 2023, we packed up our home in Portland, Oregon, put everything into storage, and embarked on a journey of full-time travel. We hopped on a one-way flight to start our travel journey in Asia, and now we're currently in our third country. We are visiting Japan. It's our first time. We're starting in the city of Osaka, and we're so excited to show you all the best things to do around the city of Osaka, Japan.
We're in the Concordia Lounge in Bali.
In the Denpasar International Airport. Luckily, it's not too busy.
And we're actually hoping we got the Hello Kitty flight.
Well, one of us is hoping that we got the Hello Kitty flight.
On EVA.
After our Sanrio and Hello Kitty themed flight on EVA Air from Bali to Taipei and an overnight layover in Taipei, we are off on our 3.5-hour flight to Osaka, Japan.
Made it to Japan. Trying to figure out how to get to Osaka City Center. This is confusing, man.
Japan's railway system is very reliable with a network of regional, interregional, and bullet trains called the Shinkansen. There are over 19,000 miles of train systems around the entire country.
So cute. I've always heard about how little the hotel rooms are, and it's definitely true, but this one's actually a little bigger than all the other ones I've seen. Oh, that's a nice view.
You got the mountains in the background there?
Yeah. The bathrooms in Japan are very functional. It's very tiny. So you got your little soaking tub with your shower head, and then a little sink right next to the toilet, and it is a bidet, heated, and all these fancy controls. First impressions of Japanese hotels. Approved. And look at our mess now. Hi, Tim.
I'd say it's a very efficient use of space.
So we are officially now in our third country. We are in Japan. We just landed in Osaka. So what are your first thoughts?
I mean, I like it. There's obviously a lot of people because of the holiday that's going on right now, but the food's been great so far. We had a great lunch, got some udon noodles, and
the udon and the tempura are delicious. They're known for that. They're known for their takoyaki balls and also their jiggly cheesecake here. Thanks, Julia from GeoBreeze, for the recommendation. Today we're walking around Osaka, checking out some of the stores and the markets, and just really taking in all the sounds and the sights of the local people and suitcase. And as Tim mentioned, it is a holiday. It is very crowded around here. We see lines everywhere for restaurants right now, but usually that's a good indication of some place being really, really good. So let's go check out the rest of the city. So busy here.
Number one on our top things to do in Osaka is visiting the DOTONBORI area. It dates back to about the 1600s and it's known as Osaka's Times Square. It's filled with restaurants, bars, clubs, and local eateries, and make sure to look out for the famous Glico Running Man sign that's been there for many years. And during the night, the entire area and the canals turn completely different as the neon signs light up the streets.
so we are at a ramen restaurant and we have to order from the machine before we go in, so.
My whole life for this moment, having ramen in Japan. I'm so excited. So good.
After having the best ramen of our life in DOTONBORI, we decided to explore the Shinsekai neighborhood, which is number 2 on our Osaka list. You will see the Zutenkaiku Tower. The northern half of this district was inspired by the city of Paris, and the southern half was modeled by New York. This area is known for its seafood and its street food. And after visiting the Shinsekai neighborhood, make sure you walk 10 minutes north to a KUROMON market, which will find the freshest seafood.
So we're at the KUROMON market, and it has lots of fresh seafood, street vendors everywhere, different quick bites to eat, very popular. The seafood looks so good.
Number 4 on things to do in Osaka is visiting the Sumiyoshi Taisha Temple. It is one of the oldest shrines in Japan and was founded in the 3rd century.
We are at the Sumiyoshi Taisha Shrine. It's one of the oldest shrines in Japan. It celebrates the kami, which are Shinto gods, who protect travelers, fishermen, and sailors at sea. It's this really beautiful architecture. We were watching some locals as they enter and exit the shrine. They pay respect by bowing.
So the bridge is the centerpiece of this entire shrine. As you can see, the really steep steps and the curve of the architecture of the bridge. One of the highlights of the shrine. There's a rabbit in the fountain, and the rabbit signifies as fertility. So essentially they're kind of bringing that peace and well-being of making sure that you can bear children.
So I just read that a lot of people that have their own businesses come to this shrine to pray to help promote the prosperity of their businesses. And there's a tree called a camphor tree, but I guess it's over 1,000 years old, and people offer up prayers to the spiritual power of this really old tree.
The Sumiyoshi Taisha Shrine is the main shrine of thousands of Sumiyoshi shrines across Japan. It is open daily between 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. and it's free to visit. Many locals come to pray for the gods for safety at sea, where they can ward off the evil and have success in their businesses. So Osaka has this famous cheesecake. It's called the JIGGLY cheesecake, and it was recommended to try by Julia from GeoBreeze, a very talented expert in travel hacking. They are definitely known for these cheesecakes at this place called Rikoros, and I think that's how you say it. Please correct me in the comments below if it's not. I do not speak any Japanese at all. We're excited to try this. When you first get to the cheesecake place, they bake them fresh on the spot. You know, they mix the batter there, they put the raisins on the bottom, and they pour the batter in and put it in the oven. And when it's ready, they ring this bell so you know when new and fresh cakes are coming out. And of course, the line is always long and people buy multiple cakes. So you're having to wait in line for a little while. The price is very reasonable for such a big cheesecake. When you first get them out of the oven, they are very jiggly and they move quite a bit. But since we were out and about exploring the city of Osaka today, we didn't get a chance to eat it fresh. So we did put it in the fridge and we're having it post dinner, but excited to try it. It looks absolutely delicious.
It's kind of like I was thinking angel food cake, which is, I think, a sponge cake. It's really good. It has a custard flavor to it. Really good. I'm curious to see what it will taste like when I get down to the raisins at the bottom.
As you can see from our Jiggly cheesecake experience, we're really loving the food across Osaka. So number 5 on our list is trying the foods in Osaka. They are absolutely everywhere, from the street vendors all the way through the train stations. You can find fresh sashimi and nigiri, as well as udon, all the way to ramen, and even the Pokemon Cafe. And we'll definitely drop a link in the description with a Google Maps of all of our favorite eateries that we came across in Osaka.
So it's pretty cheap to eat at the local supermarket here in Japan. We got a bunch of food for only $11. We got noodles with pork belly, takoyaki balls, squash, cucumbers, and gyoza.
And I got an instant ramen.
An instant ramen.
Actually, udon.
Udon, yeah.
So it's our second day in Osaka.
Yeah, so we're just spending it here. We're starting at Osaka Castle, checking out the grounds around the castle. Beautiful structure, I mean.
Yeah, and we're going to 2 parks today. So Osaka Castle, of course, Tim mentioned earlier, one of the most famous landmarks. And then we're heading to Nara Park. If you ever heard of the bowing deer, that's where it's at. Both of these parks are absolutely free. Since we are on a budget traveling for a couple years, we need to be mindful of costs.
The train system is so great here. It's so easy and convenient.
We're figuring it out. Tim's our navigator and Google Maps does a brilliant job, and the prices are pretty much spot on in terms of cost of the trains. So the Suica card you can download onto your phone like Apple Pay, load an amount of money, and it gets you pretty much on most or all of the transportation systems around Japan. Number 6 on our things to do in Osaka list is visiting the Osaka Castle.
This castle is one of Japan's most famous landmarks, and it was originally constructed in 1597 at some point in the 1600s, but
The line is absolutely outrageous. We probably have to wait at least 30 minutes to an hour just to get into the castle, and when you get inside it's so busy, so we opted to just walk around the park since it is free. So we're just gonna walk the grounds and maybe go visit the museum instead.
And quick tip, you can actually purchase your Osaka Castle tickets in advance if you don't want to wait in line. You can purchase them on klook.com, and we'll drop the link in our YouTube description so you can get your tickets ahead of time so you don't have to wait around.
So we just read an interesting fact about the castle that you see behind me here. On August 14th, 1945, the day before Japan surrendered on World War II, the United States conducted one final bombing raid here in Osaka, and they actually dropped a 1-ton bomb right next to the main tower behind me, and you can still see some of the damage. Luckily it spared the tower itself, but it did hit right next to the foundation, so it did some damage to the blocks that you can actually still see today. So the Osaka Castle was once the headquarters of the Japanese army. These metal spikes, or these iron spikes that you see at the top of the walls, and that would prevent attackers from scaling the walls. So we've just been noticing these really neat taxis around Osaka. There are all these like these black Toyota sedans. It just gives us this vibe similar to like England. The taxis just have that feel to it.
Number 7 on our list of things to do in Osaka is visiting the Osaka Museum of History.
So we're inside the Osaka Museum of History, and you get some amazing views of the Osaka Castle.
After learning about the importance of the Osaka Castle playing a major role in the unification of Japan during the 16th century, we wanted to learn more. So walking over to the southwest corner of the Osaka Castle lies the Osaka Museum of History. The cost to enter is about 600 yen or 450 USD per adult and free for children. Number 8 on our list of things to do in Osaka is visiting Nara Park. It's located less than an hour east of Osaka, and it's home to 1,000 sika deer, nicknamed the bowing deer.
So Nara Park is usually a busy place, but right now we're on a holiday weekend and it is very busy.
I think we find some deer.
Yeah, well, I see a couple already, so let's go check them out.
So the best thing about Nara Park is the soft serve ice cream. Totally kidding, but when it's busy, I feel bad because it just feels really unnatural to be hoarding like crowds around these deer. I thought they were going to be more dispersed and less people. I definitely think Nara Park is a little bit overhyped, but maybe because it's a holiday weekend, that's why there's so many people here. I kind of just feel sad for the deer. But it is a very pretty park to just walk around, and there's some trails surrounding this area as well.
Established in 1880s, Nara Park is one of Japan's oldest parks. It's over 1,200 acres, it's open 24 hours a day, and it's completely free to visit. Visitors can buy treats to feed the deer, and we definitely recommend visiting in the morning since they already seem pretty sleepy and well fed in the afternoon when we went.
The Osaka area is well known for its okonomiyaki, which is basically like a pancake that's made of cabbage, meat, and eggs, and it has some mayo and what are these little squid flakes, or what are these? Like little seafood flakes or something on the very top. And luckily enough, the Osaka area is well known for it. And we're here at Nara Park, and there was a food vendor set up. It looked really good, so we're gonna give it a try. And now we're watching the deer in the creek, and people tried to feed them.
If you're not into feeding the deer in Nara Park, you're within short walking distance to the TODAI-JI Temple, one of Nara's 7 great temples. It was founded in the early 700s. It's open from 7:30 to 5:30 p.m. daily, and it costs around 600 yen or 450 USD to visit.
We are at TODAI-JI Temple today. It is one of the largest bronze Buddha statues in all of Japan. And also it was built in the mid 700s, which is a very super old temple. And it is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so definitely one not to miss if you are in the Nara Park area. You kind of walk past the park about 15-20 minutes in, and you go straight back. There is about a $4 USD admission, and be aware of lines, so definitely get here early if you want to beat the crowd.
Thanks for tuning in to our Osaka, Japan video and things to do in this beautiful city. And on to our next adventure, we're going to be heading over to Kyoto. We'll be visiting all the different sites and showing you around, as well as the Mount Fuji area. We'll be back in the mountains. Make sure to hit that like button if you like this video, and also subscribe to our channel for future videos.